starting with a widespread hard frost away from the west, where we've got thicker cloud, some rain and strengthening winds. That will slowly move eastwards through the day, getting into the far southeast much later. I'll have all the details coming up.
Morning, Carol.
Good morning, Sal and John. Good morning to you too. Sal is not kidding. I've got almost every kind of element that you could ever wish for or not in this forecast. So starting off with, it's a cold start to the day. We've got a hard and a widespread frost. Temperatures in Perth and London -3, whereas travel further west to Northern Ireland, Armagh is 6 and Milford Haven in Pembrokeshire is 9 degrees. And that is because we've got cloud and rain gathering here, strengthening winds, and that's all going to be pushing eastwards through the course of the day. It's courtesy of this weather front here. It's not particularly fast moving, and ahead of it we do have some mist and fog across parts of the Vale of York, the Midlands, East Anglia and the southeast. Now that will be slow to lift, but when it does, we will see some sunshine first thing, but the cloud ahead of the rain is going to push steadily eastwards through the day. Then the rain follows in, and quite gusty winds northwest Scotland and Irish sea-facing coasts. Temperatures today, well, higher out towards the west. We're looking at 10s and 11s, but it's still feeling cold in central and eastern areas where we've got roughly 5 to about 8 degrees. And through this evening and overnight, that rain does make it into the southeast and clears. Then we have another batch of rain coming in across Scotland and Northern Ireland with a lot of cloud, mist and murk, and still quite a breezy night. But note the difference in temperatures. I showed you -3. Temperatures fell as low as -5.8 in some parts last night. But tonight, it's going to be much milder. We're in double figures across the board. No issues with frost. Tomorrow then we start off on a cloudy note. Again, we've got some rain crossing us, a couple of bands of rain, low cloud, mist, murk, particularly on the coasts and hills in the west. And you can see just behind my head the area of low pressure that's coming our way. As it moves closer to us, isobars squeeze, so we'll see gales develop to the west of Scotland with exposure. Now we're going to have gusts as much as 50, 60, even 70 miles an hour later on in the day. And these are our temperatures, 10 to 14 degrees. So again, for most, much milder than it's going to be today. Then as we head on into Thursday night and Friday, the low pressure moves across the north of the country. We've got other weather fronts coming our way. So we'll start off with some severe gales. Overnight we could have gusts as much as 80 miles an hour, and it's only slowly as we go through the course of the day across northern Scotland that the wind will start to moderate. But you can see we do have bands of rain crossing us. In between there'll be some brighter skies, and these are our temperatures. So they're starting to come down a touch in the north, but they still are in double figures as we push further south. Sal and John.
OK, Carol.
Dad did, and he was very good at it, actually.
Oh.
That's going back a long way. But no, I've never done it.
OK. There's an idea for a Christmas piece, though, isn't it?
You've said it now.
Yes, indeed. They're heavy. He used to keep them, excuse me, keep them in the house, and they're really heavy. So huge admiration to anybody that can lift these things. But this morning it is a good day for doing it because, as John and John both said, it is a cold, frosty start. There's the risk of ice on untreated surfaces where, of course, we've had some dampness. But this gives you an idea of the kind of temperatures. So in Aboyne in Aberdeenshire, it's -5. Benson in Oxfordshire, -5. Manchester is -3. And Cardiff's -1. But travel further west. Note the difference in the temperature, 6 and 9, and that's because we've got more cloud and some rain coming in, accompanied by strengthened wind until much later. And it's courtesy of this weather front. But the squeeze in the isobars tells you it's going to be windy, particularly in the west and also through the Irish Sea and adjacent coasts. So we've got some mist and fog across parts of East Anglia, the southeast, the Midlands, the Vale of York. That will slowly lift. The cloud and the rain come in from the west, travelling eastwards. We hang on to the brightness for longest in the southeast, and these are the temperatures. The milder conditions not yet across central and eastern areas, but into the west. Look at that, 10s and 11 degrees. Now, as we head on through the evening and overnight, the cloud and the rain continue to push into the southeast. We'll have another batch moving across Northern Ireland and Scotland. Some murky conditions as well, some low cloud, mist and murk. But one thing you will notice is the difference in temperature tonight. Look at this, 7 to 12, no more -5s. So turning much milder. So it's going to be a mild start to the day tomorrow. Again, quite a grey day for most of us. There'll be a lot of cloud around. There'll be some splashes of rain, one band going through, a second one coming in hot in its heels. And as this area of low pressure behind me starts to move in, look at the squeeze on the isobars. The winds are going to pick up with exposure in western Scotland. We're going to have gusts as much as 70 miles an hour. Now, temperatures 10 to about 14 degrees north to south. So again, much milder than it's going to be today for most of us. As we head through Thursday night into Friday, look at this too. The low pressure drifts away to the north. So for a time, overnight, we'll have gales, even severe gales, across the north of Scotland. They'll only slowly start to moderate as we come through the course of the day. And on Friday, 2 bands of rain once again crossing us, a little bit of brightness in between, and it is going to be quite a breezy day on Friday. But you wonder what the temperatures are going to be. Well, they're coming down just a touch in the north, 8s and 9s, but as we push farther south, 11 to 13. We're still in the mild air. And into the weekend, there's a little bit of uncertainty about the forecast in that where exactly is the low pressure going to be. Could be further south, meaning wet and windy in the south, a little bit drier in the north. And it could be windy at times as well. So we're not out of the woods just yet. Sal and John.
Bit of everything there, Carol.